And we will be going into game 2 here. ROOTdrewbie, our red Terran player, and Spades, our purple Terran player. Welcome to the Alert Cup in a round, looks like a quarterfinal round between ROOTdrewbie and VTSpades. So we have VTSpades spawning in the top right as the purple Terran, as well as ROOTdrewbie, our red Terran, spawning in the bottom left on Xel'Naga Caverns. So we will have a very open natural expansion, so hopefully one base play from both players to start the game. But we have seen a lot of Terrans being greedy and going for that fast expansion and then just getting punished for it. I mean, so many Terrans we've watched tonight have been punished for taking a natural expansion, whether it be Banshees, whether it be Blue Flame Hellions, whether it be a Siege Tank push. They've just been punished by not having enough tech to defend. So, we are casting the Alert Cup. My name is the Surgeon. I am here with Galaxy. Galaxy will be casting
and I'm
with
Galaxy.
me.
I'm just so happy to be with you. I'm so happy to be with you here, Surgeon, and with all of you in the audience. I'm having a great time. These players are, all these Terran players are showing us some great games, and I'm looking forward to see who will come out ahead in this series.
Yeah, we are seeing the highest level of Terran versus Terran we can see. And if these players did watch any previous matches, they would have also seen some great TVT from their peers. And we will see both players going for a pretty standard opening, both getting the barracks and into that refinery. But I just kind of want to say something about Greetorp's, his refinery first and barracks second, where you get your factory immediately after your barracks finishes, and you're able to get out an earlier tech than your opponent. And that's really what I think is a better build than the standard barracks then refinery build. But I mean, someone proved me wrong, but Greetorp really proved us wrong that you can do a different build other than the standard barracks into refinery. So we have both players with the mirror build here in this game 2 of a best of 5, with Spades being down 0-1. ROOTdrewbie is leading this series 1-0, and both players getting that first Marine out just now. Galaxy, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I was just saying that ROOTdrewbie is from Team Root Gaming, and VTSpades is from Team VT. Two top North American teams. So these players may have played against each other before. No doubt they've heard of each other at least.
Both players getting their factory down, so nothing fishy from either player. No proxy facilities. I would like to see some nice tech patterns from both players, but we might see just a pretty standard game on Xel'Naga Caverns, as it is very hard to push across this map and actually hold your positioning. But you do want to take your Xel'Naga towers, you want to have control of that, you want to see when your opponent is moving out into the middle of the map. So both players just continuing to make Marines, but we do have a deviation here. We have Drewbie going for a Hellion first, while we have a starport coming down for Spades. But we do have Drewbie also putting down the starport a little bit later, as he was forced to use 100 minerals on that Hellion there. But Spades just quietly holding his ramp, as well as Drewbie quietly holding his ramp. But I think he will try to move out and get some scouting information with this first Hellion.
Yeah, the majority of these TVT games, when the players opted not to fast expand, we've seen kind of a 1-1-1 build. Some players have gone for like the Hellion Blue Flame, while others have opted to do like a early tank Marine push. But there's even though you go 1-1-1 every time, we've seen such a diversity of play. For example, Phoenix with his Banshees, and Greetorp favoring Vikings. And it looks like we have a Hellion which might get shot down, doesn't get a shot off on these Marines. These Marines have full health, and Drewbie trying to get in, do some damage. He does do. Drewbie says, "You can shoot me down, but I can at least get one shot off." So yeah, it's just like within the 1-1-1 build, there's so much you can do. There's so much creativity you can enforce upon it, you know. And what do you think? I guess 1-1-1 is pretty standard, eh, Surgeon? That's what you said.
It's a very safe build, especially when you're a Spades and you're going for that Raven first. You really don't want to be caught off guard with a Banshee harassment. You don't want to lose to Banshees. It's like you don't want to lose to DTs. It's the same kind of feeling when you're going up against Banshees. So you want to get that Raven out and just, it saves you from scanning. You can just continue to meal, you can macro up, and you don't have to worry about Banshee harass, as if you have a Raven, your Raven will never die when there's Banshees out. But we do have, looks like a Blue Flame Hellion drop. Let's see if that Blue Flame was researched. It's not, so it's just going to be a regular Hellion drop. The medevac is there, the Hellions are there. Here comes the drop here from Drewbie. Drewbie going to just try to get into the corner of the base, but it is spotted by this depot. But there's only Marines to defend as well as the Raven. The Raven could throw down an auto turret here. Viking is out. He needs to land that Viking as it is armored, but he's actually going to go after that medevac, and that medevac's going to pull out with those Hellions, but that Viking is going to catch up to it, and with that 9 range is going to try to shoot it down. It might actually get it. Hellion's going to be dropped out, so he doesn't lose those Hellions in that dropship.
Yeah, but Spades has got to be careful. This Viking could get shot down. It's getting into the enemy territory, and does get shot down, and the medevac, although its speed was nerfed in the last patch, it was able to get back, so that's amazing, because you know how the medevac speed was nerfed, right? I mean, it easily would have gotten away before, so.
That is correct. Bad manners, they're saying. Spades calling Drewbie bad manner for invading his territory, and Drewbie calling Spades bad manners for killing his medevac. So we are moving in here into the mid game. Both players just continuing to sit on one base. We have Spades with a 3rd barracks going up, a reactor on one, a tech lab on the other. He does have a tech lab on his factory, and he's just going to be moving out into his natural expansion and catching Drewbie's Hellions off guard. Drewbie does lose 2. 1 is in critical health, and Spades just going to try to secure his natural expansion, maybe actually take that natural expansion. He does have an orbital command already finished and in his base, so he's going to be floating it over, as well as ROOTdrewbie actually has his natural expansion already finished, morphing into an orbital command, as well as tanks out on the field.
Yeah, tanks are out on the field, definitely, and Vikings, but VTSpades, one thing he has in his favor is he has his siege tech completed approximately just right now. But meanwhile, Stimpack is just finishing for Drewbie and a +1 upgrade, so Drewbie may plan in the later game to, yeah, it looks like he's building another barracks, so I think that he just wants to make more of those Marines, Marauders, and do we see, I only see 1 factory for both players, so, you know, I guess it's kind of mirror, it's kind of the same. It's 3 barracks, 1 factory, starport. Oh, it looks like a 2nd factory is going down now. Is going down for Drewbie. But Drewbie is taking the center of the map now, being very bold and aggressive. He is sieging his tanks, and he says, I want to take this area. You are not going to come in. Maybe he senses that impending doom is coming, but actually he does have siege tech now, so we'll just have to see.
Spades unwisely moving into siege tank fire, and Drewbie is going to engage and try to pick off that tank. He does take 1 tank down, and Spades forced to just siege up and hold his position, but Drewbie doing a nice job to just siege up those tanks in the middle of nowhere. So Spades trying to push the natural expansion of Drewbie, but Drewbie catching Spades sleeping as Spades just walked right into that fire. But he does have a medevac. Will be healing up all of his Marines. He did lose 1 tank. Spades actually going for another command center, while Drewbie hasn't thrown down his 3rd command center yet, as both players looking to macro up and going into the late game.
Yeah, Drewbie is now loading up a medevac by the gold, and he's sending out 8 Marines to try and make something happen. Meanwhile, Spades is timidly moving around his units and trying to kind of figure out what to do with them. Now he's deciding to take out the destructible rocks, and Drewbie not opting to take out the gold rocks just yet.
Yeah, one thing you don't want to get caught off guard is attacking rocks, and your opponent attacks you, and then all your units are attacking the rocks. I mean, that's happened to me once, and here comes the medevac dropship. Might get picked off here by Spades. Spades doing a nice job to micro. He does take down that medevac dropship, so that dropship nullified, and really a loss there for Drewbie. But he did commit Spades to using his micro and his APM on that dropship, and in the meantime, looks like Drewbie just wants to take some map control here as he's moving up his tanks to that Zelnaga tower. He does scan. He does see that Spades doesn't have quite that many tanks. He's going to take this Zelnaga tower on the close side to Spades, and he's going to be in a good position to just hold this part of the map. He's going to be able to expand behind this quite easily, but he decides not to move up into Spades, although I believe he could have taken that positioning there at the Zelnaga tower, but decides not to. He decides he's going to pull back, maybe go for a drop in the main as he is moving around the Zelnaga tower. He does have a sensor tower in the middle of the map to watch the movement of Spades' army.
Yeah, I like how Drewbie, it kind of spreads out. Like he has a Marine and his Marines are just kind of scattered around the map, making sure no enemy command ships go down. But meanwhile, here we have tanks are shooting up on the high ground thanks to those medevacs, and Marines are loose in the base of Spades. They are blowing up. They will be blowing up supply depots. Some Marines going around, swinging around, taking down some SCVs. Meanwhile, how does Spades respond?
Spades is going to wisely bring some Marines in a medevac dropship and drop those tanks, and then clean up all the Marines in his base with his Marine force. So he was ahead in the army, but he is now behind in the army. But he did get a planetary fortress up at his gold expansion at the same time that Drewbie was moving in with his forces. So he cleans it up. He takes his gold expansion. He needs to really saturate that a little bit more. He has no SCVs at his main, so he's pretty low on SCVs. Looking at the income tab showing that he is at 39 SCVs to the 60 of Drewbie. So Drewbie is ahead in the SCVs, but down on the bases. So this gold expansion is going to be the difference here for Spades, but he is still behind in terms of the income per minute.
Yeah, the Harvester is favoring Drewbie 60 to 40, and Drewbie played it correctly. He saw that he wasn't going to get his third up sooner, so what he did was he did a great. I'm amazed that he pulled. I mean, just taking advantage of the fact that there's the high grounds, you have medevacs, and I love the way Drewbie's playing right now.
Yeah, and Drewbie is doing the critical move, which is to get upgrades, and he's going to take out this one tank. He's going to have siege tank superiority. He's going to be able to shell this planetary fortress and the mineral line for Spades. So Spades is going to have to sack this expansion because there's really no way he can defend it with those siege tanks in position like that. So he's going to counterattack the Drewbie's gold expansion as well. He's going to lose some units to this turret, and it's just going to be a swap of armies. But actually, the medevacs for Drewbie going to clean up all of Spades' armies. So Spades in a lot of trouble here, as well as Drewbie continuing to macro up very well, getting +1 weapons for both his mech units and his infantry, as well as infantry armor level 2. He's already at level 1 for his infantry attack. This gold expansion is under so much fire here. There is even a siege tank on the low ground hitting the minerals from the back. And Drewbie going to be moving up into the natural expansion, going to be cutting off any reinforcements here from Spades. Spades forced to pull back, and there is a God I Hate You and a GG from Spades. Drewbie takes game 2.
So,